Prasad sir. Hello Prasad sir.
மேம் எஸ் மேம்.
கேக்குதாங்க சார்.
கேக்குது மேம்.
அப்புறம் ஜாயின் பண்ணிட்டாருங்களா?
இல்ல மேம், இன்னும் இல்ல மேம்.
ஓகே ஓகே சரிங்க சார்.
பண்ண உடனே நான் சொல்றேன் மேம்.
சரிங்க சார்.
ஓகே. மேம், விஜய் மேம்.
சொல்லுங்க சார்.
மேம், he has joined ma'am. You can make him as co-host.
I think he can share sir. He can share the slide. One
Okay,
second.
okay.
சார் அவரால ஷேர் பண்ண முடியுதான்னு கேளுங்களேன்.
Okay. Srijit, Srijit, whether you are able to share your screen?
Hello, sir. Sorry, I think I was talking on mute. Hi, sir. No, actually, I would not be sharing anything. I
Okay,
think I will just directly start with the talk.
okay,
So,
okay.
so
Just a minute, just a minute. Okay, just a minute. Good evening to one and all. So it gives me an immense pleasure to introduce today the speaker, Srijit. He is a skilled network consulting engineer with expertise in networking, cyber security, VoIP, and network automation. Currently, he is working at Cisco and he has experience in handling enterprises and defense network infrastructures, specializing in routing, switching, MPLS, VPNs, SD-WAN, and security solution. He is also a proficient in automation technologies such as Python, Terraform, Docker, and AWS. He has contributed to large-scale automation initiatives, significantly reducing deployment time and operational cost while maintaining high customer satisfaction and SLA compliance. His achievements include multiple innovation and automation awards at Cisco, along with professional certifications such as CCNP, CCNA, and Cisco DevNet. Currently, he is pursuing his master's degree in computer science engineering at Indian Institute of Information Technology, Dharwad. So we once again welcome you, Srijit.
thank you, sir. Thank you for the warm welcome.
Yeah, 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 you
Um,
can start.
yeah. So, may I know which year students are there on the call right now?
Final year. From third year, they're going to go to final year.
Oh, okay, okay. Hey, hello, folks. Can I get a quick hi or a quick um, any any reactions from the folks who are on the call here? I would appreciate if everybody turns on their video, maybe. Let me also turn on my video. Um, Great. I see one person on video. Go ahead, guys. Let's turn on the video. Let's make it a two-way session over here. It's gonna be quick, 1 hour. I will not take a lot of your time. I'll just quickly address a lot of things. And as fourth years and third years, I just want to tell you what is probably my opinion and my take on current software industry and what are the current opportunities. Go ahead, guys. I just see one person on video right now. Go ahead. The number mark is around 5 or 6 at least. So we get the magic number of 5 or 6. We're good to start. Okay, I see 2 people. Great. Thank you so much. Come on, guys. Come on, come on. More, at least more folks. Great. Okay, I see the third person on video. Somebody turn on the video and then shut it off, I think. Go ahead, guys. It's okay. You guys can turn on the video. That's perfectly fine. Any more folks? Any more? Three, three. We have 3 people. Let's see if we can get another 3 or 4 people. Great. I see 4 people on video. Just one more, guys. Just 2 more. Come on. Okay, I see the chat is disabled, so not as much. Okay, I see that most of the folks are choosing not to come on video, but that's fine. That's completely okay. Okay, so can I get a hi from everybody, just quickly turn on the mics and just say hi all together, single. It's fine. On a count of three to
Hi,
one,
sir.
maybe. Yeah, just let's go ahead
Yes,
and
sir.
say hi. Let's do it on a count of three, maybe.
Uh,
3, 2, 1.
Hi, sir.
Nobody.
Hi,
Hi,
sir.
sir. Good evening, sir.
Hi. Hi,
Good
sir.
evening, sir.
Great. So that means everybody is listening to me. That means everybody is listening. That's cool. Okay. So couple of things, right? So as Prasad sir introduced me, I'm Srijit and I work as a consultant with Cisco Systems. So what do I mean by that? I basically work with companies, Fortune 500 or Fortune 50 companies, and also with defense organization, and I help them build their VoIP architectures. And when I say VoIP architectures, basically applications like Cisco WebEx, and then there's a lot of backend applications that run like SBCs, call manager, a lot of VoIP applications. So how many of you guys know what is VoIP? Voice over IP. How many of you guys are aware of those words? Voice over IP. Or have you guys ever heard of those words? VoIP. Any guesses? Where do you think VoIP is used? It's okay. No negative marking here. You guys can say whatever you want to say. There's no negative marking. So just go ahead and just say, have you guys heard it? Maybe, yes, no, maybe.
No, sir. You will tell this wipe information. I gather the ideas about that.
Okay, great. So basically, what is VoIP? VoIP is voice over internet protocol. So it uses multiple protocols like SIP, WebRTC, S323, MGCP. There's a lot of protocols that is used behind VoIP to basically make calls work over internet. Normally, your calls work over technologies like 4G, 5G, and GSM and CDMA and a lot of those, right? So VoIP is a way of making calls work over internet. Okay. So that is the difference. And for example, is basically your WebEx calling, your WhatsApp calling, calling on Microsoft Teams, or maybe calling on Discord, any of those, or what is happening right now on Zoom. Video slash VoIP communication is what's happening right now, right? And this is what's happening in Zoom is basically right now VoIP communication, right? So that's about me. I basically design architectures for 50 Fortune 50 and defense customers ranging from ISRO, NASA, US Air Force, US Navy, mostly customers like those, right? So that's a brief background about me. Today, my agenda of addressing to you folks is that what you guys should or might expect uh, from how the software industry is right now. So I think mostly around this time, you guys would be hearing a lot about the word placement, job, what package, who is offering, what is the package offered by this ABC company, XYZ company. Correct me if I am wrong, right? How many of you guys are thinking all the time right now these days? Like every time you go to sleep, is like, I don't know what job I'm gonna get. How many of you guys are having sleepless nights because of it? Yes, no, maybe. Okay.
Students, we can unmute and speak out, ma.
I have, sir.
Yeah. So yeah, great. So yeah, that's the thing, right? So I understand the anxiety, okay? Because I've been at the same position that you guys are in right now. And I know exactly how it feels to be on the other side. I passed out of my bachelor's when I was in uh, 4 years ago. I'm not that old, but 4 years ago is when I exactly passed out of 2022 is when my batch is 1822 is when I passed out my computer science degree, right? So I know exactly how it feels. And I passed out around the COVID time, around the end of COVID, is when I got my degree. So I got the job around that time in Cisco. So I know exactly what you guys would be thinking right now that, hey, like, how is the market right now? What is happening in the market? What is the market trend? Should I do this or should I not do this? Right. So I just want quickly people to unmute and say, what is your dream job? Like, what is your dream job? What is the criteria for a dream job for your people? Just unmute one by one and tell me, like, what is your dream job? I want to know, like, what is the current this demography that we are having today of 83 people. I want to know what is a dream job according to you people. So I want to know that. Go ahead and unmute one by one. It's fine. I just want to hear it. You don't want to talk, don't want to say like big sentences or something. Just unmute and tell that what is dream job for you. Just one by one. Anybody, go ahead.
Any role that based on cyber security or in a defense part like that, any role. So that is will be
Great,
okay for me.
great. Anybody else?
Sir, I'm
Go ahead.
sorry, sir, that I want to be in a field of like in the generative AI or else in DevOps and automation field. So I just want
Okay.
to adapt to this current market situation. So I just want to make a goal in that way.
Great. Okay. Go ahead, guys. I've heard only two people. Only two people have dream job criteria.
Any design or development role and which gives me sufficient salary and provides great environment with people to be with.
Okay. Great. Anybody else?
Yes, others, you can unmute yourself and speak.
Oh, go ahead, guys.
Yeah, hi sir. To me, my dream job is a job that is stable and sufficient and financially flexible. It's not about a particular role, but it must be something stable. Yeah, that's my dream job.
Okay. Okay. So four folks have told me. Anybody else with any dream job criteria? There are only four people who have said anything for so far. There are 88 folks on the call. So only four people have dream job criteria and nobody else has any other criteria. Like you
Yes,
guys,
sir.
yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir. My dream job is to work in a domain of cybersecurity or in a cyber crime,
Okay. Okay.
or to be as an UPSC aspirant and work in IAS positions.
Great. Great. Some diversity here. Go ahead. Anybody else? Five people told me what their dream job is. See, exactly like how Kotishwaran said, right? It does not necessarily have to be what like aligned to because you're on this call, you have to say that, hey, I am a computer science student, so I have to, my dream job is to become a full stack developer, or my dream job is to become this or something else related to whatever you're doing right now. Just anything in general is fine. Whatever is your dream job.
I want to do and some taste of industry and I want to go for teaching field that professional professions that like to teach or to train the students or like
Okay, that's great. Cool. Let's go. Let's hear from other two people, and then I think we'll have some idea about.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
I must question myself in a public domain,
Mhm.
public government body as a technical guy.
Okay. So you are aiming to be a computer science engineer in ISRO, something like that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great.
ISRO, DRDO, many
Yeah,
other
yeah.
government
Any
bodies.
any PSUs. Okay, understood. Anybody else?
Hi, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Sir, I have planned to get into cybersecurity is specifically on red teaming a domain like ethical hacking.
Okay, great. Okay, so I think I have a fair understanding of the demography here, which is present. I mean, from 8 people or 9 people whom I have heard, there are 4 people or 5 folks who told me that they want to be in cybersecurity domain, and around 2 folks who told me that they want to be in software development, and another 2 folks who told me that any government job or where I can have technological impact. And I think one unique person who told me that they want to be a UPSC, they want to work in civil services. That's that's what I understood from the demography here, right? So first thing, okay, placements or your job is something that you will decide for yourself, okay? And it's not supposed to be decided by somebody else for you. That's the primary thing. Now, here, my entire point is that in IT, for the folks who are aiming for an IT job, and when I say IT, that encompasses everything. Okay, that encompasses go ahead with cybersecurity, go ahead with full stack development, or cloud computing, or let's say you know anything with networks, or AI, ML, yeah, or people who are very interested even HFTs, anything like that, right? Even for you guys, all of you guys, right? I will broadly encompass all of that as IT job. Okay. For the folks who are aiming for something else other than the IT job, great. I am not going to comment on that at the moment, but this session I will probably focus more on IT related jobs and software related jobs, right? Currently, what is the market trend? Okay, what is market and what is expected in the market? Even the best of the best can't be able to tell you on paper that hey, tomorrow there will be 500 jobs for AI that will be opening up, and day after tomorrow there will be 600 jobs that will be lost, and for developers, right? There's no market trend right now. Market is disrupted with anything and everything that you can think is. Sorry, I think I had a glitch here. So right now, the market is as disrupted as it can be. Okay. And when I say what's gonna happen, because so right now, why I say it's disrupted is because of the buzzword. You all know it's AI, right? It's AI, it's artificial intelligence. You take any role, some way or the other, there is an impact of AI in that job. Okay. Now, when I say that the impact, has it reduced the opportunity or has it increased the opportunity? In some ways, most of the redundant jobs where there is a very predictable pattern is where there has been job cuts, is where there has been job losses. Again, this is also not a fixed statement, or this is not like a prediction that I am saying that hey, all the jobs where you're gonna do a redundant work every day, getting up in the morning, and let's say your work is to call 15 clients and get a deal, right? Get or sell a vacuum cleaner or sell a newspaper, something, right? You're a salesman, right? Even for that job, you might say that hey, that's very redundant. You wake up every day, make 10 calls to 10 different people and try selling it in the same tone, right? Repeatedly, one after another one, right? Even in those jobs, there can be job cuts. But are all the salesmen replaced already? Are all the cold calling mechanisms replaced already? No, it is not, right? So the fact of the matter is, any company will do what is required for them in good long run, okay? And what is best in their interest. Now, let's say I am a sales company, okay? And all of my revenue, or let's say I'm a consulting company, okay? Like McKinsey or Bain or anybody, right? My entire focus or my entire money and the revenue that I would be making is through consultants, is through highly paid, highly educated, top cream consultants, IIT pass outs, IIM pass outs. That's where I am making the money, right? Now, what they do is study case studies of 15, 20 companies. Let's say I am an ice cream making company, right? And I am going to McKinsey or Bain as a customer, and I am saying that, hey, tell me how to make profits on my dessert segment. Or let's say I want to make profits on my popsicle segment, whatever it is, right? My work as a consultant in Bain or McKinsey is basically to go and analyze all those 15 case studies and advise this particular customer that, hey, what is the best way to get profits in popsicle segment or get profits in dessert segment. That is what I am paid for in McKinsey. Okay. Because that is how McKinsey makes money. That's how Bain makes money. Right. Now you are saying, now do you think McKinsey will go ahead and replace them with AI? They will not. They might, but maybe at a different place. But their major money making machine is through these highly paid, highly educated, top cream of the layer consultants. Right? So do you say that overnight AI is gonna purge all their jobs? No, mostly no, right? So the whole point that I'm trying to make here is every company will have their own niche and their own uh, rationale behind hiring and firing people based on their priority, based on what they want. Okay. So if somebody is going to come and tell you that, hey, AI is doing job cuts, yes, it is. There is no doubts about it. When computers came, bankers were not replaced overnight. Most of them, when learned to live with the computers, right? Most of them try to get in line with the technology and get in line with what's happening inside the office. Okay. Most of them were not just laid off overnight. Yeah, there was severe job cuts. Yes. But there were investments that were made in other places. So net, I would say that you should not be panicking about how the job market is. Maybe the job market is terrible. You don't need to be having those conclusions right now. What you need to be working and thinking about is how do you hone your craft? Okay. Whatever you're doing, whatever you are interested in. Let's say if somebody's saying you're interested in cybersecurity. Okay. For the folks who said cybersecurity, at least for them, I can tell you what is the best way to get into cybersecurity. Okay. One thing is, do not aim to be a ethical hacker or a bug bounty hunter who is like going to find a bug or vulnerability in Meta or Facebook or Instagram, right? That's not should be your aim. I mean, yeah, eventually that's what you're trying to look at to be good at, but that's not what you're supposed to be aiming at as a fresher, right? What you should be aiming at is trying to get a job in a aligned domain, right? What is the basics of cybersecurity is networks, right? Do you have a job? Have you worked in a job where you have understanding of how TCP IP works? Can you read a TCP header completely? Do you have the OSI layer and do you understand fragmentation, aggregation, de-aggregation, how IP works, subnetting works, how VPNs work, MPLS works? How do you understand those basics, right? From network layer up to the application layer, are you able to understand how the packet is traveling? How packet becomes a segment, how segment becomes a frame? Are you able to understand that flow first, right? That's where you as a person will understand that, hey, this is how information and data travels over a network, right? How does the line, what is the difference between, let's say, a DSP 256 or a DSP 528, right? All those are differences that you have to understand. What is bandwidth? How bandwidth is managed? What are routing protocols? What is different between BGP and OSPF? How can you exploit BGP? How can you exploit OSPF? These are fundamental routing protocols. Okay. Majority of there would be any large scale WAN networks or LAN networks which is operating in today's day that might not be incorporating BGP, right? But can you find a vulnerability in that network? Can you find a vulnerability in that line? Right? There are multiple vulnerabilities. But for that, you need to understand how enterprise scale works, right? What is firewall? What is stateless firewall? What is stateful firewall? All these differences are basics. Okay. And without getting in line with these things, you cannot be aspiring to become a cybersecurity expert or pro overnight. How NAT is configured, how do you configure the ingress traffic, how do you configure the ACLs, access list. All of these are nitty-gritties of the cybersecurity or the security domain in general. Okay. Once you understand this particular part of your, how the tech works, rather than just, downloading burp suite or, having a Wi-Fi module and, plugging it in your laptop and doing a IP spoofing after seeing a Udemy video, that's not how cybersecurity is built at scale. Okay. There are cybersecurity experts who have worked in the domain for last 20 years, but they wouldn't have touched the burp suite even once in their life. But they contribute every day for enterprise security. They contribute every day by configuring and making sure what logs are being ingested by the same applications like Splunk, what is the log, reading the logs, investigating the logs. That's how cybersecurity in reality looks like. So when I am trying to tell that, okay, when you say that, hey, cybersecurity is what you are liking, right? This is what I want to do. I want to do ethical hacking. There is no ethical hacking. There is no hacking which is ethical in nature. Okay. What you are trying to talk to me right now, when you say in layman words as an experienced professional, is basically words which are jargons, which has no background meaning to it. Okay. Unless you have not put your boots on the ground and you don't understand that, hey, what, how does when I type google.com on a browser, how does that page load? Without knowing that, if I am saying that I'm an ethical hacker because I saw 2 videos on YouTube or Udemy, and now I am able to, put a payload in like a email or something like that, looking at 3 Udemy videos or YouTube videos, and I purchased the Wi-Fi router, purchased the Wi-Fi module and put in my laptop and did a LAN spoofing or something like that. That's not cybersecurity. That's not the justice of saying that that's cybersecurity domain. That's a part of it, a very small niche part of it. Enterprise cybersecurity is way more bigger than that, right? Coming to development, coming to, DevOps or CI/CD or any of those things, right? It's an evergreen market. Yes, opportunities might reduce in the future because a lot of automation, lot of AI logs ingestion, and AI giving you a lot of outputs with whatever you're doing and helping you and assisting. It can definitely do a lot of job cuts. I am not denying it. It can, it might not, but definitely it's not going to replace all the people who are there in the industry. Okay. The ones who are going to survive in that are the ones who know to survive with AI. Okay. Who can leverage AI to themselves for whatever job they're doing. You don't need to be, able to fine tune your LLM, or, you don't need to be, making logics about how to improve your transformer logic or none of that. You don't need to. All you need to know is how to work with AI, how to make your work better with AI, right? That is the whole point about. Now, let's say if you're reading logs, how do you make it better with AI? Right? How do you ingest the logs? What is the best way of doing it? If you are trying to build a rack system for a project, your school project or your college project, or for anything, for your internship project, how do you build the best rack? Right? These are the things that you can focus on. When I say that you live to learn to live with AI, right? That's what I am trying to tell. You continue focusing on whatever you want to do. That could be cybersecurity. That could be full stack development. That could be working on CI/CD automations, anything that you want to gain expertise on. All that I am trying to tell is how AI will impact that is completely dependent on how you learn to cope with it. Okay. If you're going to completely throw everything under the bus and say that, you know what, there is no future in the software industry, it's wrong. There is not. There is enough of opportunities, and a lot of people are still getting hired. A lot of people still have jobs. And I am example of that. I still have my job. But again, this is not because of, that, hey, my company values me, or it is not that, I am doing some irreplaceable work. No. Maybe if I am fired out of my job, maybe 2 or 3% might get, they can upskill them and get to my job another 3, 4 months. But how do you make yourself irreplaceable in the market? That's the whole game about, right? And how do you get a job, right? As simple as that. First thing, as a college fresher, I would aim to get in a similar industry at least. If I really want to get into cybersecurity, I would not be sitting and nitpicking that, hey, I want to go as a, ethical hacker into a company. If you take a varieties of company, if you take a scale of 1,000 companies, I could be wrong with the ratio and proportion here, but maybe in those 1,000 companies, not more than 30 or 40 companies would have an ethical hacker. Okay. So in cybersecurity itself, there's a red team, there's blue team, right? There's one that takes care of the offensive part. There ones, and even the offensive part is not actually offensive. They're just looking out for all the vulnerabilities which is out there. There is OWASP, there is OWASP principles, there is CISSP certifications that you can take. How InfoSec works. InfoSec is completely about auditing, and completely, it is very interesting in its own way, right? There are so many segments to it when you say cybersecurity as a domain. So what I would suggest each one of you is take, I would say that take one domain and start analyzing it more from depth and not from width. Okay. Take one particular thing and start mastering on it. If you're learning React, be the best React developer that you have across in your team or in your class, right? If you're doing DSA, right? Just continuously do DSA. If you are getting a kick by doing competitive programming, go ahead, register yourself for competitions. Go ahead for Hacker Rank Fests. Go ahead and do Code Chef. You can do a lot of things. Lead code, just grind on it. Okay. If you have the ability to do that, if you feel like, yeah, I have the ability, I have the passion for it, why not? Go ahead and completely do it. Opportunities will open up by itself. But then the first and foremost thing is your passion. How much passionate are you about the whole thing? There's somebody in the market who's ready to give you a job. If you're really so good at DSA, trust me, there'll be somebody in a Hacker Rank Fest or somebody in a Code Jeff Fest who will get impressed by you and your coding skills, right? You're going to meet somebody that will find out you some way. Now, I'm not saying that's a definite employment opportunity, but definitely that will open up a lot of paths for you. If you are interested in hackathons, if you are interested in building products in like 1 hour, 2 hours, participate in the hackathons, participate in places where you feel like you are doing what's right for you, right? Some way an opportunity will open up. But the most important thing there is passion. If are you really passionate to do it? Do you really want to do it? Right? That is the whole question. And do not throw jargons. Don't say jargons. Don't say, oh, it's cool in the market. It's really selling in the market. The market will sell you words. Okay. Market will sell you a lot of words like cybersecurity, AI, data science, ML. They will throw a lot of words at you. But the fact of the matter is that all of those, uh, whatever you're going to do, right, is going to be very specific and very niche. In a corporate environment, unless you're not working in a startup where, you're building a ground team up, right, you're not going to get an opportunity to basically, go ahead and build an entire, product from end to end. Unless you're not working in a newly created startup and you're a team lead, which, as you guys are fresher, I would estimate that you guys are not going to get that opportunity. Yeah, maybe your field of work might expand. The width of your work might expand. You might be able to. So let's say if you're, there is no differentiation between an SRE DevOps or a full stack developer in a very small startup. You're doing everything. You're doing everything by yourself. You're also taking care of the InfoSec issue. You're also taking care of, all the compliance issues. Everything is you. There's nobody else, right? But those kind of opportunities, if you take 15, 20, 30, maybe one out of them will give you that opportunities where you are doing everything, right? But more often than not, you're mostly working at a very small niche aspect. Okay. So I would say the first thing that you guys need to be focusing on is, let's say, what company do you want to get in? What is your dream job? What is the place that you want to see yourself in another 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is? All right. Start putting an action plan for that. Start putting a plan to how to get inside that institution or how to get inside that particular place, and then start working towards your goal. Right. Because overnight, you're not going to be acing at any of the technologies. You're not going to become an AI expert in the next 1 year, right? You're a fresher. A company, when it will come to recruit you, they know that you're a fresher. They know you don't have a working experience. You are not a PhD and you're not an MTech, or, you are a bachelor's. You're coming out of 4 years of your engineering, right out of college. They know what to expect out of you, right? So what they need, that is what you need to deliver. Like if they say you have to be good at quantitative, deliver that. Now you might ask, hey, what is really a benefit of doing quantitative aptitude? What is it that I say that, oh, why am I solving puzzles here? But that's how the company is gauging your quantitativeness. That's how the company is gauging your aptitude. Now you can't really complain on that. Even at the scale of, Google or Amazon, the interview processes are different. It's not completely the same, right? When you're going to go and apply for Google, Google has its own way of interviewing and Amazon has its own way of interviewing, right? Amazon focuses a lot of on your situation-based questions, how you solve a problem and how your troubleshooting is. Whereas Google, they go by. So yeah, sorry. I think that was a glitch again. So yeah, so that's why I was saying that every company will have their own way of, recruiting and their own way of gauging a person's aptitude. So you cannot complain on that part that, hey, how do they want to recruit? How is that even relevant to what I'm going to do? That is debatable. That's fairly debatable. And that is being discussed at all levels, even in the corporates and even at the highest levels of recruitment, that is probably being discussed. But from your perspective, if you're wanting to build a career, if you want to build a career in whatever you want to do, the first thing that you need to be looking at is to trying to get a job. And as much as possible, trying to optimize on that. Okay. Somebody would come and might tell you that, hey, it doesn't really matter. You can switch later on your career. Right now, getting experience is everything. I should start off from a very small company. I should learn everything. Again, it's all personal preference, but my opinion is that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. Your career is not, unless unless you are planning to retire in another 10 years or 9 years or another 5 years or 6 years, you have a long career. There's a long career ahead of you. You can gain experience at any point of time. So, and the kind of experience you want to gain is also completely up to you. If you're really passionate, you can switch jobs later on in your career. But try to optimize the kind of job that you're going to get, right? If you're going to get a job at a big tech, it's really good because you're going to get information at scale. That kind of scale you are not going to see in a startup, right? When you're dealing with millions of traffics every day, is no way compared to like 10,000 or 5,000 traffic, right? That scale, operations at scale is completely different from what you do at a very low scale, small startup, right? The completely different experience. You might get to work on a very large bunch of, verticals in a startup, but whereas in a big tech, you will be working on only one specific niche. You might not have full visibility on what's exactly happening. A same product, like let's say, even if you're working, let's say for example, like Microsoft Outlook, or let's say WebEx for that matter, or even for Zoom for that matter, there'll be an entire dedicated team that will be just working on this participants panel. Okay. There'll be only a dedicated team that will working on the DevOps side of the VoIP of this particular call, what is going on, how to optimize the QoS for that. When I say QoS, is quality of service, right? So there's a dedicated team just to look after that. How to maintain the latency, how to make sure that the application is not crashing when there are 300 participants over a call, right? How the UDP traffic is managed in such a scenario, how WebRTC connection work, how SIP call flows work. All these, there are different teams for that, and you are working on a very small, tiny part of that, right? all of them will offer you a different, varied experience. Okay. So if you see my best answer and anything for what you would be asking right now as a fresher from a placement or from a job perspective is see what you're interested in, what has your calling, even remotely. Like, let's say now folks told me that cybersecurity is their interest. Dig deep. Okay. Start searching for companies which has similar roles or which has similar even remotely similar work, like networks, right? Networks or TCP, IP or OSPF or anything like that, right? Even closely remote to security, right? Try to get jobs in around that, managing a firewall, managing a VPN, managing SSO for any company. Even those kind of roles, even it is at the bare minimum and the bottom line layer of cybersecurity. From there, you can gain experience going upwards and forwards from there, and you can pick up a lot of things and pick up a lot of skills as you go from there. But the most important thing is the starting point, right? So don't wait for the best role to come to you. Take what you have and optimize it for the later, right? Because the most important thing right now is to have a job in this market. I would say more than anything else is right now to have a job, right? Forget everything else. Forget, oh, you know what, I have to wait for this one job to come to me, or I have to wait only for this particular company to come to me. Yes, again, I am not saying that whatever is coming in front of you, just settle for it. Definitely optimize based on whatever your priorities are. Let's say there are two companies or whatever offers you're going to get based on packages or based on the role. Definitely, if you have opportunities and if you have offers, multiple offers in your hand, go ahead. Optimize it based on your own, needs and requirements. But let's say if you're being given a job offer and you have nothing else, I would rather say that you take it and then figure out rest later, and try to get a job that's as much as close as possible to what you have. That should be the goal rather than, nitpicking any role and saying that I will only do this. Okay. Because first off, market is fragile. Market is in a place where there is evolution happening in every forms and every way, right? So especially in software industry, right? So those are my 2 cents. And with that, I think I have exhausted what I have to say. I will open the floor for discussion. Go ahead. Go ahead, folks. Whatever I said, any doubts, anything, you have queries on, or anything that you feel that maybe you should ask me, you think I can answer, maybe go ahead. The floor is open for you, folks.
Good evening, sir. Myself, P. Ranjita. Thank
Yeah.
you for giving this wonderful insights. So, I have a question like, what are the difficulties have you faced in the earlier stage when you got into the market, and how you deal with it?
Okay, so in that regard, see, I consider myself a little lucky because I wanted to get into a certain company, and that was always my goal, or I always eyed on it for some reason. And somehow I made it in the same company that I wanted to. And I also got the similar role that I wanted to, which kind of made me, completely fine with the role. I knew my core competencies when I was, looking out for jobs. I wanted a mix of place where I am interacting with customers in my early years of my career, and also a fairly technical job, right? So when I started off my career, I became a consultant, and I've worked in that for around 3 to 4 years now. And I can proudly say that, okay, today, if you want to ask anything about VoIP, I can answer you without a blink, right? So uh, it's all about what you want and how comfortable you are learning for anything that's coming your way, right? Maybe I am not the complete example that I can tell you that, hey, I was completely put, like, I wanted to do VoIP, or let's say, as somebody was telling you, right? I wanted to do civil services, but I was working in a corporate, right? That was not my case completely. I was okay with the job that I had, and I was okay to upskill on that, right? I was okay to learn the new things that was coming up to me. VoIP was not taught to me in college. It came to me after I joined Cisco. But I did my CCNA, I did my CCNP. I understood the nitty-gritties of networks. I understood what is TCP/IP. I understood how how routing tables work, what is ARP, what is basic protocols, right? What port numbers everything operates on, how traffic flows, how to read a log, how to take a packet capture, how to dissect a packet. All of this is a learning that comes on the job. Now, would I say that it only applies to VoIP? No. I also can, work with a firewall team and I can give them proper insights on those end as well. So it is an ever ending journey. You get into it and keep yourself as much as possibly passionate every day and try to cope up with the time. I think that's the most biggest learning that I have.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Hello,
Any,
sir. I'm Sashan.
yeah.
Sir, as sir told you have an experience in AWS. So, how would you suggest a person in third year or in final year to take up on cloud certifications and cloud experience?
Hey, so that's a good question. So the thing is, I personally I don't have a certification in AWS. Okay. As of yet, I don't have a certification in AWS, but a lot of my counterparts have a certification in AWS. But does the certification give you the same credentials? It does add to your resume. It does add to your credentials. Yes, it does. So certification route is one. Second is your experience route. Try to build more and more products. Try to use an S3 bucket. Try to set up a cluster. Try to set up load balancers. Basically, work around with your AWS cluster. Try to set up an EC2 instance. Play around with your AWS account. Try to set up things. Try to build a cloud application from scratch and see how it works. That is one way of gaining experience as a fresher. Or the second way is to gaining through the certification. Now, if you have the resource to go ahead and get a certification, why not? With all means, go ahead. But would I say that you should be spending considerable time on that? It's your personal choice. If you want to, yes, you can. If you think that this is where your calling is and you are not going to leave anything, I mean, you think that this is going to be a valuable time spent on, with all means, why not? Go ahead. It definitely will add to your resume. But to apply it, you need a job. So keep that as a priority. But I would say don't take it to your heart and be like, okay, without this AWS certification, I'm not gonna go for a job interview itself. Don't take it to your heart. Just keep yourself updated with whatever you can in AWS. Just there are plenty of Udemy videos that will take you across like some 30 hours, 40 hours run through of AWS. Just take any one of them. Even in Udemy, you will find like the solution architect level training courses that will be available. Just go ahead and take it, and that should be good enough. If you really want to do the certification, by all means, if you have the resource, why not go ahead, do it. But uh, your whole goal should be of gaining actual experience with it, because there's no point in just learning it theoretically and having the certification, but you have not used it only after that. So that's my take.
Okay, sir. Thank you. That certification is not important then gaining experience, right?
Yeah, it should be meaningful. You can have certification, but if you don't have a working understanding of it, if you don't have an experience building it, then what's the point, right? More
Oh,
important is experience. More
yeah.
important is, let's say if I question you what is EC2, you should be able to tell. What is a EKS cluster? You should be able to tell me, right? How do you build it? Those are the things that you need to know. How do you work around with EC2? That is more important rather than, gaining a certification. That is just a, name to the fame or something like that. So it's just a credential that you have. But more important is, do you know the knowledge or not? That is more important.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. Anyone else?
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
I am Varsha, sir. Sir told you have did your hires in IIT Dharwad. So may I know how you have prepared for GATE exam and how you got into IIT getting in CSE domain, sir.
Right. So yeah, mine is a little different story. I didn't write Gate. I had an internal so my triple IT is sponsored by my company basically. So my institution sponsors my masters. Cisco is basically sponsoring my masters. So I had an internal exam, and that was an hour-long exam. But I think that was at par with GATE. I wouldn't. I have not seen the GATE paper exactly, and I have not seen the question papers of GATE exactly. But it was definitely related to the current bachelor's and whatever you're studying right now. How basic, basic and NOR gate questions, few basic differential questions, and calculus questions. Those are the ones. But I wouldn't be able to comment on the gate part. I wrote it in a completely different manner, and mine, because it's sponsored, so I went through a different route altogether into triple IT. But yeah, in general, if you would ask me how to get into triple IT, gate, you have to score good rank in gate, and I think triple ITs are. I think you can get triple ITs at a much lower rank itself, is what I know. But yeah, I think the rank information, everything is very much online available. Can just check that. But yeah, that that is that with that. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead, guys. Any other questions? Anyone else?
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sir, to secure a job in cyber security domain, to be strong enough in computer networks is more than enough, or we need to know more than enough, sir.
For you're saying cybersecurity. See, that's what I mentioned right earlier. Cybersecurity is not is a very big blanket statement. Okay, there are multiple levels of cybersecurity. There is at application level, there's at network level, there's at transport level, there's physical security of devices. There are multiple levels of security when you talk about cybersecurity. There's offensive, there's defensive, there is infosec, there's data security, there's data privacy, there's data audits. There are multiple kinds of cybersecurity, right? And multiple levels of security are there. All of that comes under the broad concept. Even preventing toll fraud or preventing a email fraud comes under cybersecurity, right? You have to nitpick what exactly are you willing to do. What is it your interest is? Do you want to be a generalist in security? Then you'll never gain expertise on one, right? But again, everything depends on the kind of job that you're going to get. So let's say if a company is going to approach you saying that, hey, I have a security analyst role, or I have a SOC analyst role, or I have a role where I am going to make you sit and monitor a Splunk, and I am going to make you sit and read through the logs every day. That is also security. That is also cybersecurity. And that is not, just because it does not give you the branding of cybersecurity, that doesn't mean that it's not security, right? So try whatever the company tells you, that okay, I have a security opening, even if it's remotely associated with cybersecurity. If you're really passionate to contribute to the world of cybersecurity, you should be taking up that job, and your entire priority should be optimizing to get that job, right? And not about what the role will require. What the role will require, anyways, you don't know, right? Because you're a fresher. You definitely don't know what enterprises are doing, right? And at what scale enterprises are operating. You would be probably working on one of very niche parts of you know, the entire workflow, right? You will be at the bottom end of the workflow. You don't know what's happening at the higher level. You will be given a very small task, and your work is to do that task. For that, you have to be in the job first. Only then you will understand the entire picture little by little, right? That is how the experience builds. So there is no one degree or there's no one course that I can tell you that, hey, do this course and you'll have a cybersecurity job tomorrow. That is complete lie. Okay. Optimize for the job. Okay. If there is a job, if some company is coming to your campus placements or anything, right? Or for, even for that matter, any off campus placements that you're going to check for related cybersecurity roles. For that, first you need to understand what all domains are there in cybersecurity. Understand what all things are there, what all things encompasses the cybersecurity first of all, and see what kind of roles are there outside. And if any similar roles or even remotely similar roles come for your campus placements, try to grab that job. Once you are in the job, you will understand about the enterprise much better, and you will be at a much better position to take an informed decision. By then you will have experience, you will understand the system, and you will be informed enough to make your own decision, right? So that is what I'm trying to tell. There is no one degree or there's no one course that is required to do cybersecurity. Take a niche, optimize for the job, crack that job, and get that job. That's it. Whatever that job demands, do that. Now, what that job demands, if they are demanding something very specific, then you can probably Google it around, check around, ask people, do a course on that. Then that is good. Okay. If let's say a certain job is saying that you should have burp suite experience, then go learn burp suite. There's no harm in it. Like I need people who have Linux experience, scripting experience, or Bash experience. Do it. Take a course for that. Study it. There's no harm in that. But taking an abstract course saying that, hey, this will get me a job, I don't believe in that. If there's a job, prepare for it, grab that job. Rest you will figure out later. Is my opinion. I hope
Yeah.
you answered that question.
Yes.
Anyone else? Go ahead, guys. I'm not your faculty.
Hello, sir. Good evening. I'm
Yeah.
Jivita. What are the mistakes we should avoid during the placement preparation and interview, sir?
There is no mistake as such. I would just say, see for the company, look at the reputation of the company, look at the work-life balance. I mean, as a fresher, I would say, don't bother about the work-life balance. Yeah, definitely. I am not asking you to jump into a well where you're like, okay, they completely ruin your, time and they make you sit from 9 to 9. Don't try to get a job like that. Try to understand, do your basic market research, how the company treats its employees over a long run. See the multiple sites, Glassdoor, Ambition Box, and there are too many FII levels. There's so many places you can find those information. YouTube search, find for those companies, understand what that company is trying to offer you, and just prepare well for the role and attend the interview. That is the bare minimum, right? The rest all, as a fresher, I wouldn't mind much about other than just how the work culture is, how is the hiring in the company, how do they treat their employees, or what is the growth in that company? Is that company aligning with the roles? Does that company have roles to which I can switch in the future? These are the things that I would research around. So I would suggest the same to you as well. I hope I answered that question.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
Hi, sir. This is Steve. So my main domain was cybersecurity, but I'm mainly interested in cybersecurity. But I don't want to limit myself in only one field. I like to explore different areas in tech because I believe understanding multiple domains help me in becoming a better engineer, and maybe it will be helpful in my future career. Maybe like that. But like taking that decision would be a better way.
See, again, I would say this thing, Steve, is that uh, one is, yes, you're right that opening you can have any domains, anything you can study. You can even study blockchain. can even study Web3, can study, Ruby, can study anything. You can study Go, you can study Python, you can study full stack development. There's everything on the platter which is available to study. Okay, it's completely your choice. Now, in that, what interests you is should be your first option, ideally, because that is where your passion is. That's where you think you are interested in. So try to get a job there. If you don't try, if you are not able to, my whole point that I'm trying to tell is don't optimize for the skill, optimize for the job. If you feel that a certain skill is required by a company and you think that you have scope in this, you think that this is what you want to do for a long term, go ahead, forget everything, crack that job, get the job. Rest, everything comes secondary. Okay. Uh, Everything. Okay. Your passion, whatever it is, will take a backseat for that time. If you really want to do that job, first is to get into that job. Okay. If you want to get into Google, you have to do DSL. There's no two ways to it. Okay. If you want to be a software developer, you need to do DSA. If you want to be working in a FANG company, there is no option only. You have to do that. Right? Now, what is your priority after getting into the job? Either you decide that before the job or either you decide after you get into the job. That's completely on you. It's a completely personal choice. Okay. But if you are feeling passionate that, okay, I only want to work on cybersecurity, I only want to work on networks, then find jobs which are on the similar lines, right? And look at the similar job descriptions, what they are asking. Go through the interviews, see what they have asked in the previous interviews, do your basic research. If it's coming through campus placement, definitely they will be telling to your campus coordinators what will they be asking during the interview, and prepare accordingly for those interviews and go ahead and attend, get the job. Once you're in the job, you will understand how different the world of cybersecurity it is, or it is better or worse from what you are imagining right now, right? Because you might have imagined a certain picture for yourself, but maybe the job is completely different to offer, right? Then you will understand, okay, what are the similar roles that I can try for? What are the similar things? Let's say at that point in instance, you are like, no, I want to explore in development. I want to go to the CI/CD. I want to go to the infra side. This is not what I want to do. I want to be at the support side. I want to do consulting, something. I want to be in pre-sales. I want to be technical sales. I want to do an MBA. I want to be a UPSC aspirant, anything, man. Anything will come only after you experience the whole thing, right? So, yeah, again, to reiterate, optimize for the job and don't optimize for the skill. If the job is requiring a certain skill, optimize then for that particular skill. That is what I would say.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I hope I answered that question. Anybody else? I think maybe that's it. I think everybody has asked their questions. Then that's great. I think let's close out the session. Thank you, folks. Thank you very much. It was pleasure talking to all of you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, Srijit, one second. So, good evening, all. On behalf of our department, I would like to express our gratitude to everyone who contributed to making the today's knowledge sharing session on placement preparation a meaningful one. I would like to sincerely thank our speaker for today, Mr. Srijit, for sharing his valuable insights, practical strategies, and motivating guidance for our final year students. I hope your words have truly encouraged our students to prepare confidently for their placements. I also extend my sincere thanks to our management, principal, head of the department, faculty, and placement coordinators for supporting this wonderful session. A special appreciation to the students who have actively participated with enthusiasm and interaction throughout the session. So I hope this session helps you, every student, move one step closer to achieving their dream career. Thank you once again to everyone present here. Thank you, Srijit, in special. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much, team. Good evening. Have a great evening. Bye bye.
Students, by 7:30, you can take up the GATE exam. It is mandatory for all.